sleepy, but I could not and will not go to bed before making this video. I seldom keep up with any social media or celebrity drama, but there's something that happened recently that's been very public that I just can't help but listen in on and try and understand. I wanted to bring light to the situation and directly discuss what I think will help Bree. If you don't know, I'll give you a brief synopsis. A woman named Brianna Chickenfry, she goes by Brianna Chickenfry on Instagram and TikTok. I started TikTok back in 2020, so I saw her quite frequently on there, and I thought she was funny. She was recently in a year-long relationship with a very famous country singer named Zach Bryan, and their relationship, of course, them both being in the public eye, was very public. Now, as a result of that, a public relationship is going to have a subsequent public breakup when things go south. And inevitably it did, because this man was emotionally abusive towards Bree, and she gives plenty of examples of how this is and the things that he would do and things that he would say. And it just irked me so much, because I know women very close to me who have had very similar experiences feel like they could barely make it out, and when they did, they were a shell of the woman that they once were. And it is so upsetting to see strong, beautiful, independent, inspiring women get crushed under the weight of a man's ego. And so I enveloped myself in all of the commentary, and I watched the podcast that Bree did on the situation to gain even more context. And then this morning she posted a video that I have literally been thinking about all day and how I wanted to come on here and speak on it. So we'll watch it together so you have that context, and then I'm gonna go into my advice as a dietitian that works with a lot of women who are trying to get out of fight or flight, my insight on things, and just my point of view from a clinical, evidence-based perspective, but also a spiritual perspective, and just looking at it from the mind, body, spirit, because I think that's important.
Hey guys, I have some questions that I think will be helpful not only to me, but a lot of other people. So I have a few things I want to talk about. And also in the first portion of this video, I'm going to be talking about weight. And if that's a tough one for you, maybe skip this video. But I also do think the conversation is going to be insightful and helpful. So maybe try to hear it out. I touched on in the podcast very quickly how I lost 15 pounds that I didn't have to lose in the relationship. I'm a very skinny person. I've always been. That's just my build. I'm a skinny girl, but I've always been healthily skinny. I just gain what my body can gain, you know? But I've been down to 111 pounds for a while now, and that is not cool. I'm 5'8", so that was my high school weight. I weighed 111 pounds when I was about 15 years old. And my comfortable, normal weight was usually 130 pounds. This is me when we first started dating. I'm probably 130 pounds in this. This is me now. My legs are it's fucking crazy. And it's not because I didn't want to eat, obviously. I was physically sick from what I was going through mentally. So when you're in a constant fight or flight, your body is so anxious, to the point where you throw up and you can't eat, you can't hold anything down. I just always felt like I was gonna throw up. So I would eat one meal a day. And things don't just snap back. I have this new anxiety that I never had in my life. So I'm still really struggling with it. And I want to know ways to cope with it and how to gain fucking weight back. So that's my question for people. How to gain weight through something like this, and how to not feel sick from anxiety. I don't know.
So anybody wondering, because I'm sure there's going to be people that are okay, she's over dramatic. This isn't really how it is when you go through a breakup. No, this is real. This is 100% real. She is spot on when she's describing the state of fight or flight that happens due to trauma, which can occur from emotional abuse, and how your body, because we have our sympathetic nervous system that activates when we are under a state of stress, and that state signals our body to produce hormones that help us to fight or flee from a dangerous scenario. And so all the blood gets drawn away from the digestive system so that you can be on alert. Now we have the parasympathetic nervous system that activates when we are in rest and digest, when we're in that recovery mode, and that's when we're able to conserve our energy inwards and really digest our food easily. So Bree is currently in that state of fight or flight, even though there are probably a lot of times in her day where there is not an active threat present. It happened as a result of the consistent emotional abuse she endured over that long period of time. So now the big question is, what can she do about it now? Or what can you do about it if you're experiencing something similar? If you're in a high stress state and you just are not eating and you're consistently losing weight, it's dangerous. The amount of weight she lost, I think I calculated it earlier, and it was about 15% of her body weight in a year, which is indicative of severe weight loss. And that is on par with somebody who has cancer. This is no joke. And this is why we have to talk about it. So first I want to come at it from the angle of what I would say to a client who is going through something similar, how to kickstart your appetite again, purely from the nutrition standpoint first. What I would recommend is having smaller, more frequent meals. So not even thinking of like a dedicated whole plated meal. I would say more along the lines of mini meals and snacks are going to do you better, because it is going to be hard for you to take on large quantities of food, especially if you haven't been eating consistently for a very long time. I can probably be safe to assume that the lack of appetite and the throwing up happened before the breakup itself, that this is something that has been ongoing for you just because of the consistent abuse. Because of that, because it's been a more long-term issue, that we really need to prioritize those smaller, more frequent meals and not override our system or force feed ourselves. I am so sorry that my dog is chewing. He decided to chew on his toy, which he never chews on. The only reason he's doing it is because I'm making a video, for sure. I want you to know, like, a lot of people demonize carbs, but it is actually really helpful to eat simpler, more refined carbohydrates in this scenario, because they're very easy to digest and they get absorbed quickly into the bloodstream, and it gives you a ready supply of energy. The only thing I would say is, if you can at least pair those refined carbs with a protein source, a healthy fat, or a fiber source, that will be overall more beneficial for your blood sugar and hormone regulation down the road. So I'm not saying just eat refined carbohydrates, but don't shy away from them, and it is okay to eat a little bit more of them than you normally would, just to help increase your appetite. And then once it gets more regulated, you can go back to eating a little bit more balanced in that regard. So more protein, more fiber, more fat. But right now, those are the three best food groups for satiety. So feeling full and staying full, which is the opposite battle we're fighting right now. It's okay to have white bread. It's okay to have pasta, rice. Really take the time to assess what your comfort foods are. And it's okay to eat some of those right now. Again, the priority is that appetite stimulation, and that'll only happen if you do start to eat. So force feeding yourself healthy foods it might do more harm than good on your psyche. So have grace with yourself as you begin to eat more. You're gonna hear me talk about this in future videos, I'm sure, but the consistent thing that I recommend to my clients that are having a hard time eating a lot throughout the day is having a bento box or a snack pack, if you will. Having a bento box gives you the ability to add your favorite snack foods in different varieties. So I would have like some type of cured meat, a cheese option, some crackers, a dip, some berries. Just make it fun, make it colorful, play around with that aspect of it, and just having something on hand, just graze. That's all you're expected to do. If you're already having one meal a day, great. Stick to having that meal a day as your anchor and then build from there. And you can do that through grazing. Eating smaller, more frequent meals and snacks is going to help stimulate your appetite. It's going to bring your hunger hormones back to life so that you will start to feel better. You'll have more energy. So yes, there's that side of things. That is the like typical dietitian response. But then there's a lot of other sides to it, because while you are going to be stimulating your appetite, you will be eating more. We're not addressing the root issue, which is that you are chronically stressed. And in order to attack that, we need to focus on other lifestyle and mindfulness activities to bring your body back to itself into that parasympathetic rest and digest state. So in order to do that, I have a few recommendations, but of course, if you want me to make a more dedicated video on these things in specific, I can do that down the road. Take the time to have a really solid self-care routine, especially in the evenings and the early mornings. I would dedicate like an hour before bed or even 2 hours. Get off social media, get off screens in general, even TV, which I know can be hard because we like to, especially coming out of a breakup, distract ourselves with media to make us feel better and suppress those emotions in the moment, but it's just gonna cause buildup over time. It's not going to heal anything. So putting all of that stuff away, especially because short form content, or suspense movies or thrillers can spike up our cortisol late at night, which is our stress hormone. We want to keep that low in the evening. Being on screens is counterproductive to that. Have some tea at night, make it a nightly ritual if you haven't already. Some wind down type of tea like chamomile. Valerian root is a relaxant that can make you feel a little bit more drowsy. Lavender, peppermint, anything that feels calming to you will be really great. Whatever you like to do, whatever your like favorite self-care rituals are, implement those, have a nightly routine, because if you do it consistently enough, your body will start to recognize, oh, we're doing these habits, activities, it means it's time to wind down, and then you can get to bed. Sleep, quality sleep, REM is essential for recovery. And in order to recover from this, you're gonna have to get good sleep. And waking up is the same thing. We wanna have a good wake up routine. Get sunlight in your eyes as soon as you can upon waking, and then get in the sun in general. Get out in nature, ground yourself. I know it's gonna sound hippie or woo-woo. It's not, it is science. Connecting with nature helps reduce inflammation and gets us out of fight or flight. So do that more. Go wherever you live, go to the beach, go to the mountains, and just disconnect from all the noise that's going on. You will feel so much better. Whenever I really need to process deep emotions, I will isolate myself. Now, sometimes that's not always the best thing to do in everybody's scenario, but for me, I need time to collect my thoughts and journal. I cannot stress it enough. Writing or having some sort of creative outlet to get all of these stagnant emotions out helps so much. For me, I utilize dance and writing. Those are my two big avenues for creative expression and to heal from the inside out, and connect with my body, especially through dance. Any type of somatic movement that connects you to your body and helps you feel more present is going to be so great for nervous system regulation. Another really great tip would be to focus on breath work. Look up some breath work exercises on YouTube, just 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, especially before eating. Certain ones, the ones for relaxation, will help you stimulate your vagus nerve, which brings you back into rest and digest. So breath work, getting out into nature, journaling, writing, some form of creative expression, getting sunlight, like vitamin D, supplementing vitamin D right now can be really helpful too, because we're going through a daylight savings situation where day feels like night, night feels like day, and then you're falling asleep at 6 p.m., waking up at 9 p.m. just to be up for an hour, and then wake up again at 8 a.m. Yeah, it's just weird, and we need vitamin D for mood, among many other things. It does fight stress in the body as well. Also, pro tip, load up on antioxidants. I know that I should have included this in the nutrition part of the video, but antioxidants from berries and healthy fats that are rich in omega-3s, like avocado oil and olive oil, are going to be very helpful as well. I'm sure I'm going to watch this video back and be like, crap, I missed something. But I think that this sums up a really big part of it. Oh, also, getting into community, which I know you're doing just by being on social media, but also like in person, be with other people that can, like shoulders to lean on. I know you're probably doing this already, but for anybody that needs to hear it, while I did say yes, isolation is helpful, there has to be a balance. We can co-regulate together, and sharing our experiences with other people can help as well. Getting out into community, finding your support systems is so crucial to the healing process. That is why I created my Thrival Mode community. What was originally just a one-on-one program, I was like, you know what 10 of us can do together is 100 times more powerful than what I can do myself, just like one-on-one with another individual. So I opened that space up to bring more people in so that we can have more conversations about healing from chronic stress and that state of fight or flight that you find yourself in right now. That is one of the biggest pillars. Relying and nurturing your female friendships is going to be really helpful. Just getting back to what you love to do, remembering your hobbies, remembering the things that lit you up before all of this happened. Last but not least, I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't talk to you about the spiritual aspect of what has helped me personally beyond anything I could have ever imagined. Through some very dark times, turned to God and found exactly what I needed in that moment. I truly believe that if you present what is on your heart to the Lord, He will take it and make something beautiful from it and help you to heal so much faster, and really heal things that you can't heal on your own. A verse that really helps encapsulate this concept of what it means to give your anxiety over to the Lord. Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7 in the NIV says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." That verse, in just 2 sentences, that really sums up what incredible power prayer has in healing. There have been so many times where I have been riddled with anxiety or with anger, especially in recent months, that I immediately got into prayer because I didn't know what else to do. I really didn't know where else to turn. I had exhausted all other efforts. When it says, which transcends understanding, it means you do not understand what that means until you experience it yourself. I can only tell you through a screen how impactful that feeling of peace is that only God can bring. It is beyond anything I had ever felt in my entire life. The whole reason why I got it was because I asked for it. I got down on my knees and I cried. I cried out to the Lord and asked for everything to be lifted from me, this burden off of my shoulders, just to be lifted. I said, please, I am craving peace. Just bring me, that's all I need in this moment to be okay, and I will make it through. And just like that, in an instant, he delivered. And he delivers time and time again. But we have to ask, and that is the power of prayer. Take that verse, do with it what you will, meditate over it. When you humbly and graciously come before God, even in your darkest hours, you will gain something from that. That peace, that clarity that you need to really regulate your nervous system and get back to the beautiful, most fully expressed version of you. It comes from that. It doesn't make anything else that I said in this video null and void. It just enhances the science behind nervous system regulation, because when you ask the Lord to take these burdens off of you, the power of belief and faith is so strong that it rewires our brains and can help us get out of fight or flight easier and quicker, and improve our resilience so that we stay there. We can stay and rest and digest more. That was the missing piece for me for so long. And now that I have it, I have to share it. I know, I love you so much. You're my baby. The power that you will feel, that immense peace that happens as a result of just asking the Lord to come into your heart and take this weight off of you, it's life altering. I mean, you will never be the same, in a good way, trust me. And there's, of course, so many other examples of this in the Bible, so I would definitely encourage just getting into the Word, asking God to point you in the right direction. I don't know who's watching this, what your belief systems are. I can just tell you from my own personal experience what this has done for me. I cannot speak for others. I can only speak for myself, but the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the Word, the living Word of God, I swear. Why are you bleeding? Can you explain? Now, please keep in mind, I have only been studying the Bible for the past 4 months, and I still feel like an infant in my spiritual journey. There's other people out there, I'm sure, that could do a better job of relaying this information. I really hope this video was helpful, valuable, insightful in any way. You are not alone. I'm so glad that Brie did what she did and is speaking about what happened to her so candidly. It's women like this that have the bravery and the courage to shine a light on the topic of emotional abuse and what goes down in relationship where it is severe and there are lasting effects on the mind and the body. I know it's cliche, but time heals as well. And I know that one day you're gonna look back at this and feel so glad it happened the way that it happened. And it may just all make sense one day. And I think it is already starting to make sense because you are helping so many women by sharing your experience. Women that may currently be stuck in a situation similar, yet don't have the courage to leave. And I just know that what is happening in your life is serving as an example to hundreds, thousands of women that they can speak up for themselves and find themselves again post-breakup and redefine their lives, being able to put themselves first. We cannot let the emotionally abusive and narcissistic men win. We just can't. But at the same time, I do hope that your heart finds forgiveness, because that too will help heal you. That act of forgiveness can be such a daunting thought in the beginning, especially when the wound is raw, but when the time comes that you feel it on your heart to forgive, not to his face, not even like outwardly public saying I forgive this man, but just inwardly, that's all you have to do. And that act alone does make a difference too. Okay, that is enough for this evening. I am going to edit this, try and get it up same day. We'll see. Before midnight? Possibly. If you are new to this channel, my name is Marissa. I am a registered dietitian and I help women heal. This channel is dedicated to all things women's health and healing from a mind, body, spirit perspective. Stress kills, and I hate to see the way that stress is impacting the most incredible women on the planet, which are all of you. And I want to provide a space for you to get answers about your stress and how to deal with it and heal from it so that you can go from survival mode to thrival mode. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, weeknight, whenever you are watching this, and I will see you later.